Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Baron, and this is the Honda Baron YouTube channel. Decided to start motovlogging after getting inspired by this guy I know on Instagram, Motobike Mike, out in Kitchener-Waterloo area. I know there's a lot of motovloggers, but he's someone that kind of lives close by, and just seeing what he's done with his channel and being able to relate to the area and everything got me inspired to start. And I thought I would just start off with my own video about the beautiful 2014 Honda CB500X. This is my second bike. I used to have a CBR 300R before, and I picked this up as my second bike, and so far I'm absolutely in love with it. So I just thought I would do a little CB500X review, let you guys know what I think, let you know if I think it's a good bike for beginners, and let you know what I like and don't like about the bike. So basically, this is my second bike. It was had about 10,000 kilometers when I picked it up for 3,800 Canadian, and now it has just over 15,000. So I've done 5,000 in about a month and a half. Mostly, well, a mix of like highway riding and touring and a lot of local rides. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it better than the 300 I had before. It's maybe not as fun, but it's a different type of bike. You know, it's like that saying, it's more fun to ride a smaller bike fast than it is to ride a faster bike slow. I don't know, or a bigger bike slow, whatever that is. I have no idea. But yeah, today I just want to talk about this CB500X and why I think it's a great bike for beginners. So everything's stock. The previous owner added these engine guards here, and I think he added these wind deflectors. He added this plug and the gear indicator. For everything else is bone stock, and so far I'm absolutely in love with the bike. The only change I've made is to the windshield here. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's like at the lowest setting. It's even lower than recommended by Honda, because before, at the higher setting, you get wind blowing up underneath, and it would come through here and hit you right in the underneath the neck, and blow right up into the helmet, which is a huge pain in the dick. So I decided to lower it as much as I could. This has solved the problem for now. Otherwise, I haven't done any changes except lubing the chain, of course, and changing the oil, which is pretty easy but a pain in the ass because I got oil all over the exhaust and it was smoking and everything. But yeah, we're running out of light. This is the third time I'm trying to make this video. Hopefully it works. So before it gets too dark, let's hop on and I'll tell you guys more about my CB500X. So it's relatively quiet. So 15,052 kilometers. Yeah, it's a very quiet bike. The neighbors aren't going to get mad at you when you're showing up at night or leaving in the morning. And yeah, so let's actually start with the bad things about the Honda CB500X. My biggest complaint, believe it or not, is the ABS. So my previous bike didn't have ABS, or maybe if it did, it didn't work that well. This ABS is like really, I don't know, I guess it works really well. So like the second you hit the brake too hard, it's like you can feel it grabbing the brakes. I personally don't like it. I can see where it works, but for me, for the riding conditions I've been in with it, I haven't found it to be so helpful. And apart from that, let's see, what else don't I like about the bike? Well, there was that issue with the windscreen and the wind was blowing right underneath, right into your neck. It was a big pain in the butt. And I guess another thing I don't really like about this bike is like in first gear and maybe the lower range of second gear, it's kind of like jerky, you know, like maybe the chain's loose. I don't think so. I've checked it, but it's like, it's a bit jerky. Not really, it kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it jerks a bit at the lower end, like in first gear and at the lower end of second gear. But once you're the higher end of second gear and into third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? No problems at all. And I hope it doesn't get too dark for this video to be any good. But now let's talk about the bike itself. So I picked it up for 3,800 Canadian. I don't know what that is US, maybe 3,000 US. It's 2014, and it only had 10,000 kilometers, which I guess is what, 6,000 miles. He wanted 45, but I offered 38, and he took it. And for me, considering I paid $33 for my 300 before. I think that was a great deal. And insurance for me, because I think it's classified as like a sport touring bike, even though I think it's an adventure bike. Insurance for me is just like $65 a month, which is very affordable here in Southern Ontario, near Toronto where I live, and it's only going to get cheaper from here. And now, so the bike itself, like I said, I think it's an adventure bike, has a very upright seating position, so it's good for commuting, it's good for touring, it's good just for like, you know, weekend rides, whatever you want to do. It's a really good all-around motorcycle. Of course, it's not very fast. I think it only tops out at like what, 170 or 180. I haven't actually tried, but yeah, it's not the fastest bike. I would recommend maybe the CB500R for that, or like a 600RR, something a bit faster. But for me, for the kind of riding I do, and if you're just doing local rides, if you're commuting, and if you live in like this area, like, because here in Canada the speed limit only gets up to what, 110, maybe out west here it's 100, so you really have no reason to be going that much faster. Yeah, it's fun, but for me, for the kind of riding I do, this bike is just perfectly suited for that. And so speaking of that, so we'll hop into like fuel economy. Fuel economy is really good. So there's actually a display. It'll tell you how like the fuel economy you're getting. I would average, I'm 220 pounds, so I'm not like the lightest guy at all, and with gear and everything, you know, I'm probably what, 230, 240. I'll average about 4.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is really good, I think, compared to other bikes. And it's, so definitely one of the more fuel efficient adventure bikes. Of course, at highway speeds, like the faster you're going on the highway, the higher the RPMs get, the worse fuel economy you're going to get. But sitting at 80 to like say 110, the fuel economy is very impressive and great if you're looking for a fuel efficient bike. And yeah, so just riding around, it's very comfortable. I know some people online have complained about the seat, but I don't find the seat to be uncomfortable at all. I actually like the seat compared to my old bike. It had like the hard leather seat. This was way softer. It's not so like spongy, but it has this like weird material. It's kind of porous. Sometimes it's like you're doing an oil change, or like you're lubing the bike and it's on your fingers. You can get it on the bike, or you can get it on the seat and it'll leave a mark. So I've been kind of careful to kind of wipe that off or keep it clean. And again, very easy to clean, just using like soap, you know, cleans right off. The seat's fine. I've done like 400 or 500 kilometers in one go. I drove from Ottawa home, which is like, I think maybe 550 kilometers. I did that in 6 hours or so. It's a very comfortable bike. The seating position is very upright, so like I'm sitting right now with my back straight. With my other bike, I was a bit more hunched over, and I was putting like a lot of pressure on my wrists and lower back, but right now I'm sitting up very straight. So that gives you like a way better position in traffic too, right? Like you can see over the cars. It just gives you a better view on the street when you're riding around. It's also so comfortable because you can like hold the tank with your legs, and keeps you very upright. And there's no pressure on the arms either. There's no pressure on the wrists. Not for me anyways. And my legs, I mean, they're kind of bent back, but I could bring them a bit forward. I know some people have purchased upgrades like for the foot pegs, to give them wider foot pegs. And I know you can put like a you can put actually foot pegs on the engine guard, so you can like actually you can actually put your legs out if you wanted. And of course it has to be wet, like come on. You can actually like put your legs up and out if you were so inclined, but that's not something I've had any issues with. And yeah, for longer rides, I've been very comfortable in this. So whether you're touring or commuting, it's a very comfortable bike. And then as for maintenance and reliability, I mean, in the 5,000 kms I've had it, I've done absolutely nothing to it. Like apart from an oil change and lubing the chain every like, I don't know, a few hundred kilometers, nothing's wrong. When I brought it in for the safety, he was like, all he fixed was the throttle. The throttle was a bit loose, like the clutch was a bit loose there, and he fixed that. And even when I brought it in for the safety, the guy said these bikes are bulletproof. And And now as for riding, I know some people online have complained about the suspension being maybe a bit soft, or yeah, I think they've said the suspension is too soft. Again, for the type of riding I do, I haven't found that to be an issue at all. And I'm quite happy with the suspension. I'm not really going over like huge bumps off-road or taking it up any sweet jumps. So yeah, and then so apart from oil changes, the maintenance schedule is very easy to follow. The distances are like, I think maybe 8,000 kilometers apart, like 6,000 or 8,000 kilometers between the maintenance intervals. I'm pretty sure I don't have to do a valve inspection until what, 24,000. So that's in quite a while. I mean, I'll check, I gotta double check, but looking at reading a line, people don't really have problems with that either. And yeah, so when it comes to riding, this is like, I guess, one of the smaller adventure bikes. It is a 500, so there's the I guess the direct competitor would be the Versys, which is I think 600 or 650. No, I think there's a Versys 300 as well. And then another competitor would be what, the V-Strom 650. Those are much heavier, I think, a little bit less fuel efficient, and definitely bigger. To be honest, I haven't ridden any of those bikes, so I'm not able to exactly accurately comment on those bikes. But yeah, I'm just letting you know what I think about this one. And so there's tons of accessories online. I mean, just like with the V-Strom, there's you can buy everything. You can buy CB500X dedicated luggage. There's all these racks. There's engine guards. I want to put on some heated grips, and I do want to change the engine guards and like get a skid plate to something different, like those like the steel ones. I'm not really the biggest fan of the AliExpress ones that I have, especially if I were to take it off-road. But there's so many accessories both in Canada and the US, and I would imagine abroad as well, depending on what your local market's like. So it's not like you can't kit out this bike to exactly how you want it. And now there is like something called the Rally Raid kit. I think they're on number 3 right now. So the Rally Raid 3. And now that like is to make it fully off-road capable, I guess. But here I think it's like 4,000 Canadian. I think it's like 4,000 Canadian for the Rally Raid kit. So not something I'm actually interested in upgrading to just yet. I think it changed like the gearing, suspension, like it gives you all the better gear for off-roading and different conditions. And actually I'm going to take off my sunglasses right now because it's getting a bit dark. I can't see. So yeah, the 4-ways are good. And yeah, the bike itself is pretty light. I think it comes in at like what, 468 pounds, so it's not very heavy at all. I know some of the bigger ones, if you drop it, like you're in for a bad time, right? It's going to be really hard to pick up a 600, 700, 800 pound adventure bike. But I've dropped this before once. I almost dropped it, but because of the weight, it's like kind of easy to not let it hit the ground. And then the time I did drop it, it wasn't too difficult for me to pick back up. Whoa, buddy. And as for the lights, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the lights are pretty good. I mean, they're throwing quite a lot of light right through this train hill. Yeah, so and now, so the gearing. So I know a lot of people have complaints about these bikes, like these quote smaller bikes, not being ideal for highway riding. But again, if you're looking for something that's good for commuting, I would have no trouble, I'd have no problems recommending this one. I mean, the fuel economy is great. It'll cruise at 100 in 5,000 RPM, which leaves you like quite a lot of the power band and like the range for passing. I mean, even at what, say 110 or 120 kilometers an hour, you'll be at maybe 6,000, 6.5. So there's still room to kick it down and pass, or just pass using the rest of your power band in 6th gear. I personally haven't had any problems with passing at all, and I've done a lot of highway riding. Gravel. Oh yeah, so speaking of the gravel, the one thing worth mentioning is the tires. So the stock tires aren't really the best on this bike. I've taken it off-road, like on some gravel roads a few times, and you do slide around a lot. So if you're doing a lot of gravel riding, like I don't know, I might probably just get like a second bike, like something smaller, because you know, more fun to ride, easier to pick up. So I might get something smaller just for off-road, and like dedicated like off-road tires on. This one's kind of squirrely, so it's not something I'd really recommend for off-road unless you did upgrade the tires, because when I did it, I was kind of like, you know, snaking around like an idiot. So it's, again, not something that is ideal right out of the box for off-road use, but that really depends on your type of riding. When I take out any like actual trails, like motocross trails or whatever, no, I don't think I would. I mean, I don't have experience doing that, but with all the plastics and everything, yeah, you can get the rally raid kit and convert it to be a lot better designed for that type of thing. But right out the box, the way I have it now, I would like to take it on more of the secondary roads around here. So in the future, I might consider upgrading, like say, I don't know, what would it be, dual sport, or like at least different tires, just so it's a bit easier on the gravel, like something with a bit more grip. But for the type of riding I mostly do, which is like the city, like country road type of riding, these tires are perfect. They're grippy in the twisties, and I've ridden a lot in rain, like a few hundred kms in rain, with no issues at all. And yeah, you gotta watch out for deers here. And now, so speaking of deers, when it comes to braking, like let's say a deer jumps out, you're gonna have to grab those brakes, or I guess kind of like go, you know, dodge it. I'll probably just grab the brakes. The front brake is a bit squishy. I like to use the front brake mostly in the city, like when you have like those planned slowing down, like planned stops, or you're slowing down and you know you're going to be doing that. So I use that in the city. Both together is great. I mean, overall, I find the brakes fine. After I clean the brakes, like I don't know, the discs, it can be they're kind of slippery, but just normally they are. I find them to be pretty grabby and pretty good for the type of riding I do. Again, I'm not doing any like heavy riding or anything too crazy. But no, this bike is a blast. I mean, it's really fun overall. It's low maintenance. Like they're super cheap to maintain. It's a Honda, right? Like what's really gonna go wrong? And now we definitely gotta be watching for deer out here. I didn't want to be out this late, but of course the videos got all messed up on my first 2 tries because I'm such a muppet. Yeah, I mean, overall these bikes are amazing. They're bulletproof. They are very fun to ride. I love the upright position. And now to get into the question of, is this bike good for beginners? Yeah, I think it's a great beginner bike. I mean, there's enough power on it to have a blast, you know, to really give her when you want to give her, but not enough that you can get in too much trouble. And it's wow. Overall, it's like very easy to work on. Generally, yeah, easy to work on. They're easy to maintain. They're low maintenance bikes. If you did want to get a bigger bike as a beginner, I would have no problems recommending this one. Just because of, you know, all the benefits that I have listed so far. And yeah, so like even on roads like this thing is so much fun. Handles so great, you know. It's heavy enough to keep you planted on the road, but not so heavy that like you're worried about losing it in the twisties or like in the corner here. You know, it's easy to upright. You can get like a pretty good lean on, and it's not going to you're not going to lose it. And so whether you're a new rider or you just don't do that. Yeah, so whether you're a new rider or you are just looking to get into the adventure bike world without spending too much money, I have no problems recommending the CB500X. It's a great bike for the money, super reliable, and I don't know if I will be making any actual upgrades soon. I might upgrade, or you know, it's more like a lateral switch to a say a CBR600RR, like maybe sport bike, or maybe like a little Yamaha WR250R for some off-road fun. But generally, but overall, this is going to be my workhorse for the time being. And yeah, I think most of you, especially if you're already looking at this bike, are going to find it a really fun and a great bike overall. Let's focus here, not die. See, look at that, a lot of fun. So yeah, that's basically all I want to talk about today. Again, it's my first video, so I apologize in advance if I have been rambling like an idiot or not making any sense or, you know, repeating myself. I'm sure I will get better with time. And as always, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe because I will likely be making more videos in the future. So I'm Baron, I'm the Honda Baron. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.